Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Today we begin the official Jester Trans Am Exhibition Championship Series. I don't know what we're calling it anyway. We have 5 rounds of this coming up over the next few weeks, and this is the first one at Broad Bean Raceway. So up first is qualifying, but before we even get into that, let's take a look at the track itself. It's a short layout here at Broad Bean Raceway. We'll flick it in from the outside apex and then to the outside once again. Regular line through the first corner. Turn 2 is where things start to get a little bit weird. We'll hold it up very high on the dotted line and go for a late apex there as well. Didn't really get to it. Flick it right through the dog leg, and we want to get as close to that inside wall as possible. Then flick it left through the final corner. The back end can step out, but the banking will catch it. And then a second late apex there as we run to the line, and that is a lap in 29.015 seconds. And that was the fastest lap I ever managed in time trial. What you're about to see now is what happens when you get the dog leg a little bit wrong, clip the inside wall, and it just sends you spearing off into the outside barrier there at turn 3, and you end up in a massive crash. And there will be light damage turned on for this race, so we don't want to be damaging the car and slowing ourselves down even further if we can help it. But anyway, it's now time for qualifying, and I should explain the qualifying format. So basically we were split into 2 groups, and each group will have 2 runs of 3 laps each. That was part of group 2, so 5 drivers have already set lap times, and now it is the turn of group 2 to go out and set a few laps of our own, and we'll see what we can do. So this is our outlap, and then we'll do 3 flyers, and then we'll come back in, wait for the others to do their 3 laps again, and then it will be our turn once more. So yeah, we'll see how this goes as we wind up for our first flying lap here in qualifying. And we're not a great line through the first corner. We got down on the inside apron. That's not really what we want to be doing. We want to get as close to it as possible without actually getting down there, because you need the banking of turn 1 to get the most speed through there. Now as we navigated the rest of the lap, comes together pretty well. So this lap time may still be alright as we exit the final corner. What is it going to be? It's going to be a 29.7, so that's decent, but I would be hoping for a little bit more than that. So let's see what we can do on our second flying lap. Once again, staying up very high, going down for that late apex, trying to open up this dogleg corner as much as possible. And we still found ourselves on a very narrow line into the final corner, so that's not going to be great as we now exit the final corner. Let's see what our second lap time is going to be. It's an improvement to a 29.3, so that is much better. I was hoping coming into this session that I could at least get into the 4s. I would have been happy with anything under a 29.5. So we've already managed that in our second flying lap here in qualifying. Let's see if we can improve on it further. Not improving so far on this lap. It's only 2 sectors is the lap here at Broad Bean Raceway, but we bring it around the final corner on our third and final lap of the first run, and we don't improve on our time. So that is it for our first run in qualifying, and we return to the pit lane. And we are just a few hundredths of a second behind Matt in front of us. So if we can find a tiny bit of time, we will be able to improve our position. But for the moment, we just have to sit and wait for everyone else to do their run of laps, and we'll get going once again. But yeah, the pace is very close between us at the back. But anyway, it's now time for our second run in qualifying. And well, I actually completely missed the cue, to be honest. I wasn't paying attention, and yeah, we're just still sitting in pit lane. So that was great, but we will eventually get going out of pit lane as everyone else is already making their way around the circuit. But here we go then. We've finally woken up to the fact our next run has started. We will still have time to get all of our laps in, but what's actually happened is we're not far ahead of the group as they're starting their first flying lap, so we can't make any mistakes or they're going to catch up to us. So we need to put in 3 pretty good laps here just to make sure that doesn't happen. So here we go then. as we round the final corner, and we'll get our next flying lap underway. We'll see what we can do. Currently, John Tita holds pole position provisionally, assuming no one here in the second group can improve, but we'll see how it goes as we round our way through turn 2. Getting through there all right on this occasion, getting down low for the apex there, flicking it right through the dogleg, and not improving on our personal best at the moment, but there's still another 2 opportunities if we can't do it on this lap. So out of the final corner and along the straight, it's not quite there, and we'll have to go again. So I do tend to go better on the subsequent laps, just getting into that rhythm a little bit more. So we'll see how it goes this time as we once again flick it right through the dogleg and then left through the final corner, and the car behaving quite nicely. I really enjoy driving this Di Tommaso. It's a really awesome car, the Mangusta, but we again just don't quite match our previous lap. We get into the 4s this time, but we just can't improve on our initial flyer. This is our final lap now, as most of the others in this group in qualifying have already finished, but we'll bring it round the final corner and we'll see if we can do it on this 3rd and final lap. Can we find the few hundredths of a second we need to improve ahead of Matt and off the last place on the grid? No, we can't, and that is qualifying over. We're going to be down in P10, and that is how it has ended for us. But a few consistently good laps there, so that's encouraging. But there are the results. John Tita takes a pole position, and he will get a bonus point in the championship for that. Sparrow takes 2nd ahead of Consumer, and then it is Artsy ahead of Park Ferme, Chevy, and then Ash, Jester, and then on the second page, Matt and myself at 9th and 10th. So that is how we will line up for the big race in just a moment's time. And it's I think it's going to be a very close race between myself and Matt, given that tiny margin in qualifying further up the field. There's going to be a lot to play out between the other 8 drivers, which I don't know if the 2 of us will be competitive with. We just have to see how the race plays out. You never know what's going to happen. In terms of points, by the way, we will get 33 points for a win, 30 points for 2nd place, and then beyond that it is increments of 2 all the way down to 2 points for 16th, although we don't have that many cars in this one. Also a bonus point for fastest lap and for pole position, as I mentioned earlier. But with all of that said, we are ready to go racing here as we get rolling, and we are in the countdown to go as the race gets underway, and we immediately get a great start round the outside of Matt before we even get to the control lane. We're up into 9th position, so if nothing else, we have made the first overtake of the championship as we now begin to gain a little bit on Jester through the first corner. And it's worth mentioning we are on the soft compound tyres for this one, only the sports range of tyres available. We're on the sports softs. The whole bunch of cars ahead of us are all on mediums, as was Matt behind us. The top 3, Tita leading the way ahead of Sparrow and Consumer, they are all on softs as well, but everyone else on the mediums at the start of this one. So it's some different strategies are playing out already at the start of this race. We look further up the field and we can see Park Ferme battling away with Ash going down the inside, and Jester trying to sneak in as well. Can't get the move done, and we are right on the back of this group as well with our soft compound tyres. But Ash makes the move successfully on Park Ferme. Jester still staying in line behind, and we're just watching on to see if we can find some kind of opportunity. Eventually we do get a little bit bored of sitting behind these guys, and we're going to start trying to make the move on Jester if we can, because we do have better pace at the moment. I don't think we'll be really in the fight with these guys towards the end of the race, but at the moment I'm being held up, so I do want to get a move on and try and create a gap to Matt behind, because he's on the mediums, and I need to make use of these soft tyres while I can. But no way through on Jester there, and we remain behind for a little bit longer, but we are really piling the pressure on with our grippier tyres at this phase of the race. Tyre wear is on ×2, by the way, so They'll wear out twice as fast as the normal rate, as is fuel consumption. And in the pits, the fuel refill rate is also very, very slow. So we will have some very lengthy pit stops in this one. But you can see we're still not able to get a run on Jester. We actually go for the move this time down the inside, but we just can't quite get there. Jester did leave us a little bit of room, but we couldn't get the car there. And we remain behind for a little bit longer once again. But you can see the pace we have. We're able to take better lines and you know, straighten out some of these corners a little bit more. Jester's a bit all over the place there, going wide, actually grazing the barrier there as we try and sneak down the inside now. Bit of contact. We had to get out of it there. Jester has a wobble on the exit. He caught that well, but that was a little bit too close to causing an incident for my liking there. So we'll need to just rein things in a little bit and go again if we get a better opportunity. But I saw a glimmer of hope there that we might be able to get past. It's actually a very difficult circuit to make overtakes, despite how wide it is. A lot of it's kind of you know, a one-line kind of track. If you venture off the racing line to try and make an overtake, you're going to end up slowing yourself down because you're not on the ideal line. And Jester goes high and wide there and hands us the position. And that means we can both push on, focus on our own races, and that's probably better for both of us. So we push on, we'll see if we can catch up to the group ahead. But yeah, that was a lengthy exchange to try to take that position. But about 5 laps after it started, we finally got the job done. Meanwhile, Jester behind, as I mentioned, he was on the medium tyres, and he goes into the pits for an early stop in this one. Meanwhile, on track, Matt loses the lead lap and lets the front runners go through, and he becomes the first of probably many in this race to drop off the lead lap with such a short track layout. Even making a pit stop just to change tyres, even if you don't put fuel in, as I believe Jester didn't put any fuel in there as he was in pit lane, even he will drop off the lead lap because the transit time in pit lane is longer than the lap time. So that's kind of ridiculous when you put it that way. And oh, bit of contact there with Artsy as Jester came back onto the road, and that was a little bit awkward, but they both keep it under control, and they'll both race on from here. But Jester should have pretty decent pace now on some new soft tyres versus these guys on mediums that have done a couple of laps. Jester gets down the inside, almost squeezes Artsy into the wall there, but a bit more contact on the way through. So a bit of a sketchy moment there, and look at these guys battling away as they're all getting rather close, and Ash pulls out of it and heads into the pit lane as well. So that is a few of the medium tyre runners making early stops in this one to see if they can gain some track position later, running soft tyres for a higher percentage of the race. The medium tyres are okay, but you know, you really want the softs if you want to generate you know, good lap times. So there's more and more people make their stops. This is Chevy in the pit lane, and they all will drop further down the field. Jester, meanwhile, is making his way back up. That's a move on Matt as Matt begins to drop back once again as Jester has made that move after his pit stop. So yeah, the soft tyres are working. You can see the soft tyre runners are generating the better lap times, you know, already compared to the medium tyre runners. But everyone has to use the mediums at least once during the race. I mean, you'd be crazy to use them twice, but you know, that is the rules. You need to use both the softs and the mediums at some point. Chevy came out of the pits right in front of us. We were not able to keep up with him. There's Matt going a lap down to us. He actually throws himself into the barrier to make sure he stays out of the way, and we will continue to push on. So unfortunately, Matt just doesn't seem to have the pace in the race. His qualifying was fantastic, but yeah, he is now a lap behind us in the race. So as we continue to follow on, Sparrow becomes the first of the soft tyre runners to make a pit stop. and he will, I think, go on to another set of the soft compound tyres. So he's saving the mediums for later in the race. We're yet to see the other soft tyre runners, myself, Consumer, and Tita enter the pit lane. So he's gotten rid of those tyres early, and he's gone on to more softs. Meanwhile, speaking of Consumer, here he is heading into the pits, and he will be going on to a set of medium tyres. So he started on the softs to try and generate some track position, and then now runs the mediums to get them out of the way, still fairly early in the race. So you know, different strategies playing out up and down the field, even amongst you know, people who started on the same tyre compound. And we're yet to see what Tita does, but Consumer comes out of the pits and he'll race on those mediums. It will be interesting to see how he goes on those. But anyway, we continue to push on back on board with us, and at the moment we are getting blue flagged, and that's going to be an ongoing issue for us in this one. And we're now a lap behind as Tita takes the, well, as he doesn't take the lead, he puts us a lap down. There goes Matt down the inside as he briefly got back ahead of us, and we immediately take that back. But that was an awkward little exchange there with you know, cars on 3 different laps, all at the same part of the circuit, trying to find their own piece of road. But anyway, we get back past Matt and push on once more. So yeah, we are getting closer now to our first pit stop. In fact, we're going to do it on this lap. We're going to split the race into even quarters. 25, 25, 25, 50, 75 will be when we pit. So here comes our first pit stop, and we're going to go with the soft tyres once again. Given that it's almost certain that I won't be finishing on the lead lap, I'm going to save the medium tyres for the end, and that way I can minimize the amount of time I use those tyres. And I imagine there may be some others who employ that strategy as well, but we'll see as we wait for the very lengthy refuel. This is what I was talking about with how slow the refuel rate is. To go from an empty tank to a full tank will take about 50 seconds. We were just under half, so you know, this is probably at least a 25-second stop time for us just for the fuel, not including the tires. So it's going to be rewarding for anyone who can drive fast and save fuel at the same time. But we come out of the pit lane straight away. We're getting blue flagged once again. I was planning to try and time our pit exit with a break in the traffic, but it wasn't really a good one at the right time. So yeah, we just had to come out in a bit of traffic and find a place to slot ourselves in. But we've once again found ourselves with John Tita behind us, and we're going to have to move out the way here, let him through, and then we will push on, as we didn't quite get that stopped as quickly as I would have liked to there on the apex. Thought he was coming a bit faster, but regardless, we continue on with the race. Here's Sparrow, absolutely flying along on those soft tyres, and I have to say I really like Sparrow's car. It looks really nice. But anyway, he's slowly gaining on the back of this battle pack in front, which included myself for a moment. We've dropped away as we let Sparrow through with the blue flags, but now Sparrow's fast catching this group, and it includes John Tita, who is a lap or two ahead of Sparrow, and then Park Ferme and Artsy, who are a lap behind Tita, but they're all fighting over the same piece of road at the moment, and all climbing on top of each other, as Artsy I don't think has the pace. He started on the mediums, is still running those tyres as they're going 3 wide there for a moment. Tita gets past Park Verme with Sparrow now looking down the inside. Can Sparrow get the move done? No, he can't. He, I think, has the best pace of this lot, but is not making his way through yet. John Tita now will be looking to get through as Sparrow looks to the inside. They're running side by side. Tita a bit laggy there, which it's, I'm sure, a bit unnerving, but we will see if that causes any issues. But I think Sparrow's giving him plenty of space to allow for that, as they continue to race on. Tita now looking again down the inside of Artsy, but Artsy still holding on and going fairly long in this first stint, as is John Tita and Park Ferme in behind. So yeah, those cars are clearly quite economical, but we'll see how this goes as Sparrow is trying to make the move on Artsy and gets the job done, as Tita made his way through as well. So yeah, there are now 5 cars in this battle pack as we've joined the back of it once again as well. So half the cars in the race are all in the same corner at once here at Broad Bean Raceway, all on different laps, all doing different strategies. But Sparrow now catching up to Tita, and we'll see if he can make this move as he is getting closer and closer. And let's see what he can do down towards the first corner. Is he close enough on this lap? He's going to have a little look. No, nothing to do there. And he's just going to sit on the bumper for a little bit longer. But Tita's doing a great job out in the lead on old tyres, right, mind you. And Sparrow is just inching his way closer. And he will surely be making the overtake rather soon. But at the moment he's not able to find a way through. And it's just costing more and more time the longer he sits here. It's not going to be benefiting his race, but he gets a good run out of the final corner, goes for the move down the inside. Tita doesn't fight it. They're not on the same strategy, so you know, they'll fight it out later in the race when it counts. But it's a bit of an awkward thing because you know, no one wants to lose time really, because when all the different strategies converge at the end of the race, every second can make a difference. So we move on now to a different battle. This is Chevy on the back of Jester, and we'll see if there's any changes for position here. Chevy looks like he's got some pretty decent pace going at the moment, as he's starting to really put the pressure on. He's lagging a little bit too, as it would seem. But let's see how this goes. He's right on the back of Jester as they enter the main straight. Looks for the move down the inside, and he may get this done here. Jester leaves it high and wide, and knows better than to fight that one. He's really focusing on his own race, it seems, Jester, and not wanting to get involved in anyone else's battles. Tita finally comes into the pits after a hefty stint of 40 laps on those soft compound tyres. He puts the mediums on. We'll see how long he can take these ones. He didn't put any fuel on by the look of things, so he still has enough fuel for however many laps he chooses to do on these medium tyres. So he makes his way out of pit lane and gets racing once more. But yeah, Tita seems to have some very, very good tyre performance and fuel economy. We continue on back on board with us, and we are still at in amongst a train of cars. We've got Ash in front of us now. We let them past not too long ago, and then we have Park Ferme and Artsy just ahead. So yeah, we've been sort of tucked in behind Artsy and Ferme for a while, and you know, there's a point where we do need to actually make this overtake. So we'll see if we can get past Artsy in particular, who is driving quite slowly at this point of the race, and we just have considerably better pace. Did they just hit the inside wall there? As we're going to try and make the move that could be the opportunity for us, grazing the outside barrier there for Artsy. We go for the move down the inside. We understeer a lot mid-corner there, though. We squeeze them out into the barrier a bit. So for the second time this race, Artsy is involved in a bit of an awkward incident with the car running out of sync. But we had to go for that and get ourselves into some clearer space, because we genuinely had better pace at this phase of the race. But yeah, that was a little unfortunate. Cost them a little bit of time. But we'll race on and see if we can keep up with Park Ferme just up ahead. Meanwhile, Sparrow makes his way into the pit lane for yet another pit stop. Seems like he's making quite a few of them, and this time once again he's going onto more soft compound tyres. So Sparrow, I believe, is going to save his mediums for the final stint, judging by what he's done so far. and he exits pit lane once more back onto the circuit in some clear space. So back on board with us, and we're going to make the move around the outside of Parc Ferme, and that will get us some clear space finally. Parc Ferme wasn't holding us up too badly as we slapped the barrier there. That wasn't great, but yeah, that will just clear that one car we had left in front of us that we were stuck behind for a little while. Meanwhile, Artsy, I mentioned, was running very long and driving quite slowly. Well, that's because they did 49 laps in their opening stint, and those tyres will be glad to come off the car. I mean, that's just insane. I can't imagine doing a stint that long. My tyres are gone after 25, so they've basically doubled the stint length that I can achieve on softs. They are on medium, mind you, but still. We make a mess of turn 1. Parc Ferme gets back through just a couple of laps after we got past them. So yeah, once we got that move done on Parc Ferme, our front right tyre basically just died. It didn't want to hear it. So yeah, the understeer at this phase of the race, it feels pretty bad. And I was even trying to save the tyres throughout this stint when I was stuck in behind those cars. I was you know, trying to reduce the steering load through the corners, lifting and coasting a little bit to save a bit of fuel, but I don't think it made too much of an impact. Anyway, we'll have a little run through the current order in the race. Tita leads the way, Ash runs in second position. Third place right now is Parc Ferme ahead of Chevy, and then behind Chevy comes Jester running in the top 5. Behind Jester is Consumer, he runs in P6. P7 currently held by Sparrow in that's a very beautiful Camaro. Next in P8 is Artsy. After that, Mammoth first in. We run down in 9th position at the moment, and then Matt rounds out the field. And oh, an awkward moment there between Matt and Artsy. And for the 3rd time in this race, Artsy gets involved in a bit of an incident with a lapped car. Once again, not their fault, but wow, that's was a little bit of a moment there. And we've had a moment at the first corner now, and I think it's about time we come in for our second stop. These tyres are gone, and I'm getting blue flagged all over the place right now, so we just pulled off the road there, and we're going to flick it into pit lane and change tyres onto a 3rd set of the soft compound here, and these will take us through to around about the 3/4 mark, or just after. We did get one extra lap out of this stint compared to the previous one. We got to lap 51, but anyway, we actually cut off the refueling slightly early to try and put ourselves in a big gap in clean air that I saw on track, and that should help us run some consistent laps on our own without getting interfered with by other cars. Ash is in pit lane once again for a new set of tyres and some fuel, and that will drop them well down the order. The top 8 are still all in the same fight, really. They're, you know, on different laps when they pit and such things, but realistically, everyone is in a fight with someone. It's just myself and Matt who have sort of dropped off the sail of the field and are not really contending for any positions other than just sort of running our own races. But the fastest lap of the race there for us, or fastest lap, our personal best lap of the race I should say, not actually faster than everyone on track, as Ash exits the pit lane and will return to the circuit. But yeah, we definitely don't have fastest lap of the race pace, as we still are just not with the same pace as everyone else in this one. But anyway, that was Chevy heading into the pit lane. Now we see Jester, I think, about to do the same, and yeah, most of the overtakes in this race are just when people pit. The actual overtaking on track has been a little bit limited, but it really is a race of strategy, as Chevy and Jester both put a new set of the soft compound tyres on. I believe Chevy will come out in around about 6th position when he returns to the circuit, and Jester behind. Yeah, there he is. Chevy out of pits in 6th, and actually Consumer ends up in between them in 7th. Jester pops out in 8th place. So yeah, he has some work to do if he wants to get something out of this one. Meanwhile, we put another lap on Matt as he's grinding himself against the barrier once again. He's doing a good job to stay out of the way and not get involved in anyone else's races in general, other than that little moment with Artsy. John Teeter comes into the pits for a load of fuel and some fresh tyres. He got rid of those mediums after running them for about 23 laps or so, and is probably going to run the rest of the race on this set of soft tyres. He didn't put any fuel in, by the way, in his first pit stop. He did in that second one. I just cut it out that time because that's a long time of watching absolutely nothing happen. But anyway, so he's effectively gone, I think, 60 or 73 laps without... no, 63 laps without refueling, sorry. Meanwhile, battle going on here. Artsy now ahead of Parc Ferme as we watch Sparrow once again. And he may be headed for the pit lane for his final stop. He's going to fit the medium tyres this time, meaning we will be the last driver in the race to use those tyres. I think Sparrow is going to the end on the mediums. But now we focus back on the circuit. This is Chevy currently ahead of Consumer, but it may not stay that way for long. Consumer's got great pace, great momentum along the straight, down the inside into turn 1. And Chevy doesn't put up much of a fight, or he does actually. Chevy back up the inside and takes the place back. Consumer not going to get this one too easily as Chevy fought back, switched it back through the first corner. That was a nice bit of driving there by the pair of them. The Consumer definitely has the pace. He just needs to find the right maneuver, and he might be about to find it. He's looking around the outside of the final corner. Contact between the two of them on the exit, and Chevy loses out. Consumer takes the position, and that was a little bit close between the pair of them there. But they both carry on and live to fight another day, as Jester isn't too far behind them either. But meanwhile, Sparrow finally leaves pit lane after a lengthy refuel, and he will carry on his race back on circuit, and I think he'll be going to the end on those mediums with that amount of fuel. We haven't checked in on Matt for a while. He's still running down in last position in the Mustang, but having still a fair way to go in this one. A few laps behind us, so yeah, we're not really competing for position in the way I thought we might, due to how close we were in qualifying, but still we're both pushing on to make the finish. Meanwhile, up the road, the fight for second, third and fourth is absolutely on between Ash, Artsy and Parc Ferme. So let's see how this plays out, heading down towards the first corner. Looks like Parc Ferme's might be starting to put the pressure on Artsy, and oh, a mistake on the exit for Artsy, and that's going to allow Parc Ferme through all the way around the outside. Bit of contact between the pair of them as they run side by side up towards the dogleg. Is Artsy going to be able to hold around the outside? Not quite, and Parc Ferme takes third position and moves himself up onto the podium. Brilliant move there, and opportunistic and bold to hang it out around the outside, but it is the ideal line, and Parc Ferme was able to take that position. Let's see if he can do anything about Ash out in front in second, but there has been a change for the podium between them. Now, back on board with us. It is time for us now to make our final pit stop. We haven't really seen much of our own race, just doing our own thing. We're going to go into the medium tyres now for the rest of this one, and you can see how much shorter this stint is going to be, this fuel pit stop, due to how little fuel we need to put on to get to the end from here. Consumer is in the pits at the same time as us as we get our medium tyres on to finish this one off. And we're actually going to short fuel even further than what we need to, because we're going to end up a few laps behind. We're not going to get to the predicted race distance, so we're actually going to cut this off even earlier than that, and yeah, we will still have more than enough fuel to get to the end. So here we go then, back out onto the circuit, and immediately we're getting blue flagged, so we're just going to stay down here and keep out of the way as we get up to speed once more. And wow, we've picked the worst time to come out of pit lane, just endless stream of cars coming past. But we're up and racing once again, and it'll be interesting to see how these medium tyres go for us. I've struggled with them all throughout practice leading up to this event, but we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, we are looking at Consumer on the back of Sparrow. He fitted some soft tyres while Sparrow is on the mediums, and Consumer gets the move done on Sparrow as they run down towards the first corner. Can Sparrow do anything to get the position back? It doesn't look like it, and Sparrow may be stuck with 8th position after looking so strong in the early phase of this one. It just hasn't gone his way. That strategy to save the medium tyres to the end has not worked the way he would have wanted it to. But anyway, this lap here by Consumer was the fastest lap of the race, full stop. So we're going to watch this one as he makes his way through turn 2, keeps it up nice and high using that banking, and then takes that low line on the exit, flicks it into the dogleg, and then now runs it through the final corner, actually grazing against the outside barrier there. That's probably, you can get away with that to an extent as long as you don't whack it too hard and damage the car, but that was the fastest lap of the race, and it was a 20, I think it was a 28.7 something, so very very quick in race trim for Consumer there, 28.704, and that will earn Consumer the bonus point for the fastest lap, as you can see us moving out of the way there with the blue flags. Meanwhile, up the road, we look to our race leader and soon to be race winner as John Teeter begins his final lap of the race. It has been an absolute domination from John Teeter. It never really looked in doubt from the beginning when he took pole position by more than 1/10 of a second, and then has led practically the entire race. John Teeter is going to win the first race of the season. Congratulations, that is a fantastic drive. We are still being blue flagged all the way to the finish line, as we're just going to duck down onto the apron here. John Teeter actually put me a lap down at beginning the final lap. You might have just caught a glimpse of that at the beginning of that last little bit. But we're going to cross the line. We'll take 9th position. We're going to be 6 laps behind, but we didn't do too bad, I think. Considering how many times we had to move over for the blue flags, all the times I didn't actually show you in the end. Matt's right beside us there in the corner of the screen, by the way. But yeah, we lost a lot of time with that. I'd be curious to know how much time we spent refueling compared to everyone else, because that could be a factor as well. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, there are the results. John Teeter took the victory ahead of Ash, and then it was Park Verme, Artsy, Chevy, Jester, Consumer, and then Sparrow ahead of myself and Matt. But everyone at the front, very, very close. Even Sparrow in 8th position, 2 laps behind. What that really means is 1 minute. A lap is 30 seconds, so, or less than 30 seconds on a good lap. So it was all very, very close still. Between everyone else. On any other circuit, they would have all been on the lead lap, but because the lap times are so short here, it's very easy to lose a lap or even 2 laps or 6 laps in our case, which once again really is, if you're on a circuit with a 2-minute lap time, that's a lap and a half. So you sort of have to look at that in perspective. Same with Matt, 9 laps behind. Really, that's maybe 2 or 3 laps on any other circuit. So yeah, that is how things have played out here at Broad Bean Raceway, and I think it's about time we bring this to an end. We'll show the championship standings with this beautifully edited image that Jester sent out to everyone involved. So of course John Teeter leads the way, 34 points against his name, 1 for pole position and 33 for the win, and then 30 for Ash, 28 for LP11E Bulk as he is listed here. I've been using his Gran Turismo name, which is Park Ferme, but anyway, we look further down, you can see Consumer with the fastest lap point, and then myself and Matt not even making it to the in-game graphic down in 9th and 10th. 16 and 14 points for us at the bottom of the list. So that is going to do it for this one. So I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. And other than that, I will see you in the next one, and goodbye. For the rest of the video, I'll be showing some of the shenanigans that ensued after the race finished, and that will fill out the rest of this video. But as I said, I'll see you next time, and goodbye.
I should have made it standing start, damn it. Damn it! Oh, that's perfect! That's perfect!
Oh dear.
Get him! And the super bird at the back! He's just gonna spin on the spot. Let's go. Everyone get Tita. Before you get everyone else. Just get Tita. Get that Ferrari. Just murder him into turn one. Archie, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him! Get him! Oh no, I've done Sparrow! Oh sh**.
Oh goodness me, there's cars everywhere.
Where's Simon? He's still sitting at the line. He's not there. I think he's just picked up now. Oh, someone, Sparrow got Tita. Yeah, I think you muted Sparrow. You might. Oh, JW's drifting. Oh, the ambulance. Jesus Christ. Chevy! What up? Oh, he gets me a penalty, you dog. He brake checked me. Oh, he put me in the wall. Oh, he got me so good.
Go on, get the ambulance.
Oh, drifting. Look at all the penalties. Oh, car's fun. Oh, Simon just got butchered by Chevy. Boom. Hip and shoulder. I only got one good wheel. Oh, and I think he's just got it. Nah, I'm good. Jesus. Oh, that was huge. That was like 4 cars. Ah, the boat. Get out of here. Oh, I wrecked. Tina, boom.
Oh.
Oh no!
Yes, I managed to hit the ambo just before I had the penalty line.
Mate, that Mustang looks, it's in too good of condition. Come here. There's the part we don't have to fix. Oh, he just ghosted.
Like this car like that around the corner.
Oh, that's perfect! And Tina gets the penalty. Oh, who's that? That was huge. Oh, I've got no control. Every single part of my car's broken. Oh,
360.
Oh, lovely equipment over there.
Right, I'm going backwards. No! Come on, Moffat. Hello.
Oh,
Oh,
There goes the boat.
oh, he brake checked me.
Oh, just lost the room.
Drifts into the. Oh, he got under it. Uh-oh. Look out, boat! Oh no! Oh, save me, boat! Thank you! Oh, Simon! Sparrow! Ash! Everyone!
Couldn't use as a pinball.
Get out of here! Oh, the airboat got me good! Go! Yeet!
Oh, no, not
Oh, that was brilliant.
almost.
God, I'm sweating bullets doing this.
That ambulance is like a brick.
Yep.
Oh, this is
That was gold. Oh, because it's fun. Every time I hit something, I spit on the spot now. Ghosting then not ghosting.
No.
There's just broken cars everywhere at this point. It's like Wreckfest. Peter's going backwards. Oh, I got him before the ghost! Get him! Nah! Chevy wins by like 4 laps.
Oh, I just had a personal best lap.
Sparrow still gets best lap after all this. Like
That was
drifting.
like going sideways for 3
Yeah,
quarters.
of course.
And it's still faster than the Superbird.
Oh, it's time that I've won. Oh, that's carnage. Sweaty, sweaty carnage. Absolutely soaked.
I was just ping-ponging off everybody over that line then.
Oh.
I don't think I've sweat this much in my freaking life.
Same. I am drenched. Yeah, that was just pure carnage.